this here is my Windows server, and if we go into manage storage spaces, we see that I've marked this drive as to be ready to remove. And if we look at the Windows event logger, we can see that this disk has had lots of errors, bad blocks. It was just giving delayed writes, or in that it was kind of symptomatic of more like a bad SATA cable or something like that. But this is looking a lot more serious. So I'm going to be removing this drive. So we can also have a look at hard disk Sentinel and this hard disk 4. When it eventually comes up, we can go find our hard disk 4, which is this one. I'm not sure why it's not displaying any useful information, but that's probably not a good sign in itself. So we are definitely going to remove that. But if we have a look, we also had some problems, not that one, this one, had some problems with this one, which is Anson's Y6X, and go to hard disk Sentinel, and that drive, we can see that yesterday it went down to 0% health for some reason. This probably just needs a reboot. I'm not sure why that would have happened, but we don't have anything in the log. Seeing alerts. Oh, helium containment status. That's probably not a good sign. Anyway, we'll ignore that problem for now, and we'll get this other hard drive out and replace it. And then we can rebuild our pool. Now, I actually have a hot spare that is a drive that is not required. So we can see this has got 0 capacity, and these are all at 99.9%. So this one can be safely removed, and I'll still have redundancy. So it's a RAID 5 setup. So even if this drive fails, hopefully, fingers crossed, still be able to recover things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go change settings, and it should come back up. Oh no, it's just swap to the background, and I'm going to say remove, ready to remove, and remove drive. Now I have no idea how long this is going to take. It took several days for it to be. Oh, there we go. Cool. So that's now ready to remove. But to get all the data off it, it took several days because the drive itself was a bit dodgy. So now what I'm going to replace it with is possibly another slightly dodgy hard drive. So another 8 terabyte drive. So if this is my local machine, and if we look at this, we can see that it's done a read-write-read test, which took about 60 hours, so quite a while, and it's got 40 pending sectors fixed. So that's probably not the best sign, but anyway, I'm still going to use the drive. It's because it's in reasonable health. So what's happened is it's remapped some sectors that were a little bit dodgy. So if I go OK to that and bring up the actual test screen, it all looks pretty good, except there's a little bit of darker green here, and over here, and scattered throughout, which tends to indicate that it took longer to read from those blocks, and therefore they might be a little bit dodgy. So hopefully the test, those sectors have been remapped, so it should be all good now, hopefully. So, and we can also look at the temperature and speed, and we can see very slow because it's doing 3 operations, so 35 megabytes per second. That's why it took so long, and we can see the temperature sort of hovered around between 40 and 45 degrees. I will close that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down this computer. Just assuming there's nothing else I want to cover on it. No, we should be good. Oops, I did not want to do sleep. I need to reduce the DPI on my mouse. Anyway, I'll be back after I've shut it down. Here is the side of the computer, and this is the hard drive we want to remove. Now, each of these hard drives has a serial number printed here. If we zoom and come in close, can see this one, BDHW1V1DD. That's the one we want to remove. And so I'm going to nip around the back and unplug the cables. Everything else looks good. Let's go back around, and I should be able to just squeeze these and slide it out. And there is the offending hard drive. And I just need to remove it from its little case, and we need to put a new hard drive in. Here is the new hard drive. I suppose it goes up that way, but I need to put it in this little caddy, which these are always really difficult to get in. Okay, and so that's kind of, it's got these little rubber connectors on here, which cut down the vibrations. Anyway, so that goes in like that, clicks in place, and then we'll wire it up. Okay, and that's all connected. We should now be able to power the machine on. After some playing around and swapping of SATA cables and using a different port on the motherboard, I have got the hard drive up and running again. Go away. And it is this one, and a little bit disturbed because it's rated at 53%. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a read test on that to make sure that everything goes just fine. And so that's going to take a while, but hopefully it will not fail. Give it a few seconds. Yep, that seems to be going. And we're getting green. And yes, we've got a dot for the temperature. So that's progressing. And 170 megabytes per second, that's not too bad. That's, I think, functioning correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this running. Okay, and we are back. And it is finished. There's actually, I left it, it's been sitting here for a few days. And we can see that everything is good. There's absolutely nothing that it's encountered that's potentially a problem. And we can also see that all this green is quite nice and uniform. There's no darker ones that indicate slower reads. And if we can look at the speed, we can see that we started out at getting close to sort of 180 megabytes a second at the beginning of the drive. And as we've gotten closer to the center, so this is the outside, and at the inside we're more like 80 megabytes a second, so 85 or something like that. So generally there's a difference of about a factor of 2 in the performance of a mechanical hard drive when you're comparing the outside edge to the inside, just with the number of sectors that they're able to cram in. And the temperatures are all pretty good. So I'm going to call that a success and close that. So the next thing, we can go into storage spaces, and I'm going to go change settings and add a drive. And I'm not sure which one of these, I'll go view files. I think it's the second one. It's just Blue Iris H drive. Yeah, so that's our new one. Let's double check. And yes, that is okay. So I'm going to tick that and go add drives. Okay, so something is 1, 2, 3. So I got 5 in there, so that didn't work. Let's open that up. I might have to reset the drive. Occasionally, it's not possible to add a drive for some reason. Just double checking again. Add. Okay, so yeah, I need to reset the drive to work with the pool. So I'm going to have to Google that to work out what is to do there. But this has all worked just fine, and I don't actually have to add that drive to the pool. I've got 5 drives in here, and it's running RAID 5. So effectively, I've got the capacity of 4 of the drives available, and that's quite good. The other thing I could do is I could upgrade the pool. So let's click that and see what happens. Okay, add drives. Disk 1, disk 2. Okay, so it's definitely don't want to add that one. So that one is ticked. And again, I can't do it because the sector size is not supported. Okay, so I'll investigate that and come back with a summary. Okay, so I am back. It's been a couple of months, I think, since I started this video, and I have yet to finish it. But if we go back to our storage spaces, let's cancel that. And so I've gone into the storage spaces, changed settings, and I'm now going to add a drive. And let's see if this works. I had tried it previously, and it actually worked. I think after reboot, maybe the disk had been reset. And we'll see if it adds it. And it did. And so now I have a spare drive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, it's possible that won't have worked. And the command I recall using previously was reset physical disk. So we'd need to log into PowerShell, and you'd need to run this administrator. I won't, just in case. And copy and paste. So we want to get physical disk, and then we want to select the friendly name and unique ID. Actually, no, I don't want friendly name. I want serial number. Because I know the serial numbers. The friendly names are all the same. And so if we run that, we want drive 1, which is this one, ending in JLX, and that's been added. So then we would want to reset physical disk with that identifier. And I'm not going to do that, even though I shouldn't be able to because I'm not in admin mode. But that should reset the disk. I think just rebooting the machine was successful. So that's been added. I am going to now, I'll just close that, shut down this machine, put all the side panels and stuff back on, and then get it back on the shelf. And I'm going to call this job completed. And so at the moment, I have the C drive, which is a NVMe drive, so 1 terabyte, Western Digital something or other. A spare drive, which I've got, Blue Iris is saving video to and that kind of thing. And then that's our storage space. And yeah, I've got 7 and a bit terabytes available for throwing stuff on there. And it's easy enough to expand. I could just expand and not have a hot spare. We can see this one ending in JLX has got very little used. It's obviously rebalancing the drives currently. So this will probably, so I could go, yeah, so optimizing. So I could go stop optimization. Anyway, that's enough ranting for this video. I hope you have found it useful. Storage spaces, I think doing any advanced kind of stuff with it, you need to use the command line and probably need Windows Server as well, rather than a Windows Pro, which I think this is. It's 24H2 Pro. There we go, Windows 11 Pro. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'm Alistair, and I will see you in a future video. and hopefully it won't be another one on storage spaces with a failed hard drive. So I'll see you then.